Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I did a little reading with a young lady named Tabitha tonight. She's in first grade, she's 6 years old, and she's learning to read at this point. That's what they call it at the school. They sent home an 8-page booklet with about 3 to 7 words on each page, which she was supposed to read 3 times with her parent all the way through. I object, first of all, because why does she have to take this home? What were they doing at school when they should have been teaching her? When she goes home, it's time to play with her friends. Thank you. If she doesn't learn at school, why are you paying them? Really, if they're sending all the work home to be done, you need to withdraw them and do something different. But anyways, so we're working on her homework because school doesn't teach her enough. And this little 8-page booklet had some really crazy stuff in it. The first page was about a girl named Dot, and it had a picture, and the picture always explained the 3 or 4 words, always. And it said, "Snap!" exclamation point. Dot zaps it, meaning the ball. Zaps, Z-A-P-S. Why snap? I had to explain the word snap to her. It wasn't one of the first words in her vocabulary. You don't try to expand vocabulary when you're teaching them the first 50 words. Okay? You use words that they already use and know. That automatizes it for them. This early level, simple grade school teaching mechanism totally neglects that. Totally. In fact, violates it and rapes it. But anyways, continuing. Dot zaps it. Now, in the 50s and 60s, it would have been Jane hit the ball. But instead, it's Dot zaps it. Now, they haven't even named ball. The word ball hasn't occurred yet. We're on page 1. First sentence, the word ball is not yet here, and they've called it already, because there's a picture with a ball in it, and we all can figure it out, can't we? No. 6-year-old can't figure that out. And they think that they are, I don't know if they think they're teaching the kids or not. They're confusing them almost on purpose. It's like there's a diabolical demon sitting somewhere designing things purposefully to confuse the kids. But anyways, going on. Go a few more pages. It does a couple of things. For example, it says, at one point it shows the girl with a hula hoop spinning. And it says, I spin and spin. Spin comes twice. So she's going letter by letter and trying to get each word. She can't do anything more than 1 letter at a time, and she can't do words more than 4 or 5 letters. That's how it is when you start Crow epistemology, right? It manifests itself. So she goes letter by letter, gets them together, then does the word and sees if she can recognize the verbal sound of that and link that up with a verbal sound in her mind. If she's able to, then it clicks. If not, it doesn't. So what they did on this one page was they had I spin and spin, and that's just throwing the word at you twice. So you already got the word, and, okay, you know that word, okay, you've seen that a few times, and then you see spin again, and it doesn't take you too long to realize that's the same word again. That's fine. I think that's a pretty good way of teaching the kid, throwing a little thing extra in here and there on the early levels. Then, a page or 2 later, this is what they do. There's a kid named Stan. He's playing ball with them. And Stan stood still, but they said it in present tense. Stan stands still. She's learning to read. Got that? She's grasping letters and words for the first time. And they throw a case of alliteration at her that Edgar Allan Poe couldn't match. Well, he matched it. The silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain in The Raven. Why give that to a girl who's learning to read for the first time in her life? This is just the smallest hint of what's going on. The nastiness. There's a young man who's actually this young lady's older brother. He's a year or two older, and he's in 2nd grade, and he came home one day to his mother with a worksheet where they wanted him to code things. And coding things meant that they would give him a sentence with some words, regular sentence, and he has to go through and do these special markings they taught him. If the O is a long O, you do this. If it's a short O, you do that. If it's a this, you do this, and dash and all. The lexicographical crap that happens in dictionaries that I don't even understand. I consider myself medium educated, and I don't know anything. I couldn't do that. And they're trying to get kids to do it. They're thinking this is like the first step towards getting them to read, right? So that they understand when they see an O that they have to say, oh, is this a short or a long O? Or is this an abbreviated or non-abbreviated TH, or whatever it is? And this is not the place to start. This comes later. That kind of crap should be left for college. It's not crap unless you put it in front of a 2nd grader. Then it's crap. It's malicious. This is what they call education. They charge us a lot of money for these kids to go to these public schools to learn nothing and actually be violently assaulted. It's distressing. And I think that, as obvious as it is, that these are good values that we'll be imparting at Cropper Lyceum, at the Deseret Academy. A lot of parents are very, very worried about the social aspect. And they think it may be fine to teach him a lot, but it's not going to offset the damage done by the fact he's not in school with his friends and stuff. He's going to be a social retard who knows a bunch, and he'll lock himself in a closet. That's one of the scenarios they give. Another scenario that they give is that you'll stress him out. You try to teach him too much, and he'll become a congenital retard from just being too high-strung and stressed. So the question is, should we withdraw these kids from public school for the purpose of education or not? Now, if public school, if one of the most important things that happens at school is that the kid learns social skills, then you can't put him in a small school. Some people just realize that social skills is not why education exists, right? Something else going on besides learning social skills. Social skills are a consequence of an education, but other people don't realize that. My own father said to me, you could get some of the nephews together and teach them a few lessons or something on Saturdays and something and get some experience that way. But you wouldn't want to teach them too much, he said after a minute of reflection, because they'd get bored at school. Right. That's profoundly wrong on a couple of different points. They're already bored at school. There's no such thing as teaching them so much that they get ahead of the black hole of ignorance at school. They're already bored, and there's no such thing as getting them to the point where the stuff that they're telling them at school is no fun anymore. It never was fun. It actually quit being fun as soon as the kid was trying to learn. That's why incidentally, that's why they keep pushing the age of reading up further and further. In England, they're trying to push it up further now, saying they're stressing kids out too much. Kids are being brought into the world of adult stress and stuff. At the age of 6 and 7, they got to learn to read and stuff. And this is all nonsense and baloney. They actually should be learning to read at the age of 4, and they should be reading fluently by the time they're 5 or 6, not starting when they're 6 or 7 like they're doing now. It's really a tragedy. Then I have this lady whose son dropped out of school last year, high school, and then he got back in this year. He's only been in for a week and a half. School just started. And so he's back in high school. This is his senior year. I had a conversation with this young man, and I said to her, I'm going to try to get your son to drop out of high school, and he's considering it. And her jaw dropped. She said, why? He's doing really good. And I explained to her, I said, if he's getting straight A's, he's not doing good. There's no such thing as doing good in a prison. There's no such thing as doing good in a KGB warehouse.